Hey everyone, it's Luke here from LT Gaming and welcome back to the channel. I'm really excited today because I'm doing my first ever compilation list and it's 40 forgotten space sims from our ongoing series. It really is a great way to round off 2024, although I'm definitely not finished with this series. I've more videos to make, but we'll maybe push it out to 2025 because there's so many sales lists coming and just other things we have to focus on. But space sims will always be paramount on this channel. I've also a copy of Liberation which features on the list to give away today, so make sure to comment below how many of these titles you've actually played or you own, or make some suggestions. I'm going to pick a random comment to give that key away to. I may also have some other keys coming. I'll give those away on this video as well, so stick those comments below, let me know what you think. Once I pick a winning comment, I'll comment below and you will have to join our Discord to collect your prize. Space simulation games have been really important for this channel and I really appreciate all of the support, so you've got a really great resource here for you to go into those Steam sales, wishlist all these titles. If you're new to the channel, this is going to be a brilliant video for you. If you're already an LT gamer, then you can go through and maybe let me know all the titles that you picked up. I did my absolute best to edit this together so it makes sense. There may be some topical issues I discussed in certain videos that don't make sense anymore, or I may have missed an edit here and there, but you get it, right? I've put all of the videos together from our series as one big resource for the year. So thank you space simulation fans, let's jump in, have some fun. 40 forgotten space simulation titles, super exciting, and there's plenty more to come for space simulations on this channel. I've always wanted to have a resource like this, and now we have it. Enjoy. And kicking off this particular list is Tachyon the Fringe. Dive into the depths of the galaxy with an exhilarating space simulation game developed by Novalogic. As Jake Logan, a skilled pilot wrongfully exiled from the core systems, you must navigate the treacherous outskirts of the galaxy known as the Fringe. Engage in intense dogfights, forge alliances with various factions, and undertake daring missions to restore your name and unravel the mysteries of this vast frontier. This title features an immersive storyline, dynamic voice acting by Bruce Campbell, and a richly detailed universe. Overall, Tachyon the Fringe offers an unforgettable journey through the stars, where every decision impacts your path to redemption. Will you become a hero or an infamous mercenary? The choice is yours in this epic space adventure. One thing to remember about this title is you can get it on GOG, where I actually own it, or you can pick it up on Steam, where it's rated very positive at 89%, and for an old game, it's actually playable on the Steam Deck. When I attempted this, however, I did have an issue with the controls where it just kept spinning my ship around, so that is something to bear in mind, but I'm sure there is a fix for it. But if you're looking for a throwback space simulation that has a really good and engaging story, then Tachyon the Fringe is definitely one to consider. Storming onto the list next is Rebel Galaxy, a title that's been called out many times in the comments on these videos. In this title, you will embark on a thrilling journey through the cosmos. Rebel Galaxy is an action-packed space simulation developed by Double Damage Games. As a lone captain of a powerful starship, you must navigate the lawless fringe of the galaxy, encountering a myriad of characters, from friendly traders to ruthless pirates. In this game, you will engage in epic ship-to-ship combat, explore uncharted star systems, and trade valuable goods to amass wealth and power. I mean, pretty much what we do in day-to-day life. With a branching storyline, stunning visuals, and a dynamic soundtrack, Rebel Galaxy offers a captivating and immersive experience where your choices shape your destiny. Essentially, the galaxy is yours to conquer in this epic space adventure, whether you want to do it as a cunning merchant or a fearsome warrior. Although it might be a little bit more arcadey than some of the space simulations we featured in the past, I really enjoyed revisiting this one and it's a very fun title. It's also rated very positive on Steam at 85%. Warping onto the list next is Star Trek Bridge Commander, an absolute favourite of mine and a classic title which helped launch our channel into bigger things. You will step into the captain's chair and command your own starship in Star Trek Bridge Commander, a space simulation game set in the iconic Star Trek universe. Developed by Totally Games and published by Activision, this game puts you in control of the USS Dauntless as you navigate through challenging missions, encounter new species, and explore distant star systems. You will coordinate with your crew to manage ship systems, engage in tactical battles using advanced starship weaponry, and unravel the mysteries of space. Featuring authentic Star Trek lore, immersive voice acting, and stunning graphics, okay for its time, Star Trek Bridge Commander offers an unparalleled experience for fans of the franchise and space simulation enthusiasts alike. It truly is a game which I think transcends Star Trek and can be appreciated by even just the general space fan. I have to say this, but boldly go where no one has gone before in this unforgettable journey across the final frontier. And of course, Star Trek Bridge Commander was absolutely massive for this channel, being one of our first videos ever to break 100,000 views. And that brings me to a very important topic with this game. The classic game is good and you can pick it up on GOG. But it's the new mods like the remastered mod which make this title truly great to play again in 2024. If you want to jump into the details of the modding scene with this title, I'll make sure to link that video below. I mean, I have to say it's pretty cool even if I did make it myself. And then you can jump into the Discord where we'll help you source the mods if you can't find them. We also covered the excellent Star Trek Legacy mod, and in the future I'm planning a video on the history of Star Trek gaming. It's going to be epic, so make sure to wait for that one. Bridge Commander is awesome and it's a game I missed out on the first time around, so make sure you don't miss out on it now. You can pick it up on GOG. Right, LT gamers, if you're enjoying this list or you're new here, make sure to like, comment your recommendations and what you think of the games on the list, and subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to support LT Gaming, do hit the join button below, or you can always come and have some fun in our Discord. We appreciate all the interaction that we get. Next up, we have Darkstar One. Embark on an epic space adventure in a captivating space simulation game developed by Astrox Entertainment. You take on the role of Chiron Jarvis, a young pilot who inherits a powerful starship known as the Darkstar One. Set in a universe filled with intrigue and danger, your journey unfolds as you navigate through diverse star systems, engaging in intense space battles, trading commodities, and uncovering the secrets of an ancient alien race. Customize your ship with advanced technology and choose your path. You can either become a fearless mercenary, a cunning trader, or a legendary explorer. With dynamic gameplay, a branching storyline, and good visuals for the time, Darkstar One offers an immersive experience where every decision shapes your destiny. Prepare to embark on a thrilling quest across the galaxy in search of truth and power, and that's just with LT Gaming. The game can be picked up for a very cheap price on Steam and is rated very positive at 82%, and once again for an older title, it's rated playable on the Steam Deck. Next on the list, we prepare for an interstellar odyssey in Starcom Unknown Space, a space simulation game that thrusts you into the heart of an uncharted cosmos. In this title, you will build your own starship while discovering an epic story in a universe of strange mysteries, alien factions, and uncharted worlds. This is one of those classic top-down 2D space simulation titles, where you get to explore a fully open world universe with multiple quests and a deep story. You're able to research new technologies and survey unique planetary anomalies and investigate mysterious celestial artifacts. You can talk with different alien factions, each with their own strengths, weaknesses, and motivations. Overall, despite the simplicity of the 2D top-down view, this is a very immersive title, and sometimes with simplicity comes the ability to build out other systems that immerse you more in a game. Another great 2D title of note in this genre is Star Sector, and we featured that previously, which truly proves you don't need amazing 3D graphics to be a great space simulation. Starcom Unknown Space is doing extremely well on Steam and is rated 91% very positive, and once again it is playable on the Steam Deck, so you can take this game with you on the go. And finally on this list, we will embark on a solitary journey through the cosmos in Rodina, a unique space exploration game developed by Elliptic Games. As the lone survivor of a space colony, you awaken to find yourself in a procedurally generated universe, teeming with planets to explore, mysteries to uncover, and challenges to overcome. You will pilot your customizable starship across the vastness of space, land on alien worlds and uncover the remnants of a lost civilization. With a seamless open world experience, dynamic weather systems, and a deep narrative, Rodina offers players the freedom to chart their own path and uncover the secrets of a universe waiting to be explored. You can choose to unravel the mysteries of the cosmos, all while exploring the vastness of space. And I think it's important to note that this is a single developer passion project, so it really does deserve your support, and it's great to find these hidden gems and feature them on the channel. Critically on Steam, the game is doing extremely well, rated 93% very positive, and is also rated playable on the Steam Deck. And that leads me to the honourable mention of today's video, and that game is Space Engineers. This game is super popular, and to be honest, it wasn't forgotten by you, it was forgotten by me in the Steam summer sales list that I did, and everybody let me know in the comments. The reason it wasn't mentioned is twofold. One, I've always seen it as more of a space sandbox, but honestly it does have space sim elements to it, and two, I haven't played enough of it. It's so hard to be a YouTuber that covers a vast array of games and have hundreds of hours in every space simulation and sandbox. It's just one of those games that I actually own but haven't been able to dive deep into. But regardless, I wanted to bring it up on this video as an excellent title that you definitely should consider. If you don't know about the title, it's a sandbox game about engineering, construction, exploration and survival in space and on planets. It truly is the definition of a space sandbox, and I'm determined to increase on my 2 hours of game time over the next few weeks, so I'll be checking it out in more detail. Star Explorers, which is a procedurally generated space exploration sim where players search for a new home for humanity. The game features planet exploration, resource gathering and alien encounters. Players map star systems, upgrade equipment and explore caves in a vast, although a little bit janky, universe created by a solo developer. The pros here include a vast procedurally generated galaxy with varied planets, great exploration and a resource management focus. On the con side, there are rough edges and some janky mechanics and overall simplistic visuals. However, even at full price, this game is only $4.99, it's rated very positive at 84% on Steam, and it's also playable on the Steam Deck, one of the main reasons I want to pick this title up. Moving onwards, we have A-Spec First Assault, which is a space combat simulator that emphasises realistic flight physics using a Newtonian system. Players engage in intense space battles while managing ship weaponry and systems. The game offers deep ship customization, with a variety of modules providing both strategic and action-packed gameplay. One of the real bonuses here is that realistic Newtonian flight model, which is always awesome to see, and the detailed ship customization. However, this is one of the games on the list I'm a little more hesitant about, as it has limited content compared to the larger space sims that are out there. I think if you're not looking to buy the bundle, then this is one to definitely wishlist and see how it develops over time. Next up though is a game I've played a lot of in VR, and that's Absolute Territory, which is a space combat simulator where players engage in fast-paced dogfights against warships and starfighters. Utilising Newtonian flight physics, players must manage power settings and outmaneuver enemies across various missions. The game features hazardous environments like asteroid fields and mines, adding tactical depth to the campaign and leaderboard modes. The pros here include the ability to play in virtual reality and pancake mode, engaging in dogfights with realistic physics. The challenging environmental hazards and the virtual reality performance are a real bonus here. However, on the con side, there is a bit of a limited mission variety overall. Overall, it's rated positive on Steam at 80%, and although it's not listed as Steam Deck playable, I remember definitely playing this one on the mobile platform. Next up, we have Astra Protocol 2. This title tasks players with investigating a mysterious event called the Astra Protocol. You must search for survivors and uncover the truth while facing a high probability of hostile encounters. The game emphasises exploration and combat as you navigate through a tense, unknown environment. Using text commands and a 1980s themed interface, players navigate celestial bodies and avoid hostile spacecraft. With guidance from an operations manual that you actually have to go and look at, you must search for survivors and unravel the protocol's mystery, all while facing high probability threats in deep space. The pros of this title include the unique retro interface with the need to consult that manual offline, and also mystery-driven exploration with combat. There is of course a steep learning curve here due to the manual-driven gameplay, and it has a very niche appeal, so that's something to consider. But it is rated 85% positive on Steam, and you should definitely go add to that if you do decide to play this. Astrox Imperium. Emerge from your cryopod and venture into the void. Astrox Imperium is an open-world space RPG that combines familiar gameplay with an expansive universe. With a plethora of ships, upgrades and options, getting lost in space could be an exhilarating adventure that you have to try. Now this is a game I featured on the channel when we were in our infancy, and it's a really fun single-player EVE Online type experience. In fact, many people have described it as EVE Offline. So if you prefer venturing across the vastness of space alone without the interference of other players, this could be the title for you. It features an open world with exploration allowing you to explore over 100 maps, each with unique resources, stations, structures and secrets. You can fly, fight, mine, refine, craft and trade in this all-encompassing space simulation. The game is still in early access and it was receiving very regular updates, but these have slowed down somewhat, so that's one area for concern. Overall though, it's rated very positive on Steam with a 90% rating, which is great to see, and it's also playable on Steam Deck. Coming up next, we have Children of a Dead Earth. This game was recommended by so many users on our other list that I had to include it, and I actually did put this on a sales list quite some time ago. But essentially it claims to be the most scientifically accurate space warfare simulator ever made. You can design your spacecrafts using real-world technologies, traverse the solar system using actual orbital mechanics, and command fleets as the solar system descends into war. To state that there's a learning curve to this game would be a bit of an understatement. You definitely need to do your research before you play this one, and it's for the hardcore player. They claim that every technology from the nuclear thermal rockets to the railguns to the magneto-plasma dynamic thrusters was implemented using actual equations from engineering and physics textbooks and white papers. LT gamers, you will never appreciate how many takes it took me to say magneto-plasma dynamic thrusters. Regardless, this is definitely a game for the hardcore, but is extremely rewarding once things start to click. And overall it's rated very positive on Steam with an 89% overall rating and is playable on the Steam Deck. Next up is a real gem in Delta V Rings of Saturn. Immerse yourself in a physics-based mining simulator set in the densest debris field in Sol. Every action triggers a reaction, lasers remain unseen without a medium, and your thrust doubles as a powerful weapon. Engage in trade, customise your equipment to match your playstyle, and hire a crew to assist you. Uncover the mysteries of the rings, or simply amass your fortune. This is a great title and comes in at a very reasonable price of €8.19 or your regional equivalent, making it great value for money. This game prides itself on the fact that all in-game technologies are real and there's no technobabble. One of the really awesome things about Delta V is that it's still in active development and updates are provided all the time. If you're unsure whether this title is for you, you can try out the demo, which is always a great option to have. And the rating on Steam is excellent with very positive 94% reviews overall, and it's also playable on the Steam Deck. This is a game that I played quite some time ago, but the fact that it's always being actively developed is dragging me back in, and I think you should give it another shot in 2024 also. Moving onwards, we have Pulsar Lost Colony. In this game, you will join forces to operate a starship and navigate a randomized galaxy descending into chaos. Coordination among crew members is crucial to survive the dangers that lie ahead. Essentially, this game is like Star Trek Bridge Crew without the Star Trek. You have the ability to play offline single-player mode, but then team up online for co-op multiplayer with up to 5 players. There's 5 unique classes and everyone plays a role on the ship with fast pace and tactical ship-to-ship space combat, and the ability to teleport to other ships, planets or stations to join the away team. I mean, you definitely get the Star Trek vibe here, right? Whether you want to play captain, pilot, scientist, weapons specialist or engineer, you're definitely going to have a lot of fun in this game. If you're inclined, there's even a virtual reality mode with motion controller support, so you can become even more immersed in your space adventures. This game is a great experience, and the Steam reviews definitely reflect that with a 90% very positive rating. It's also playable on the Steam Deck, but I can't say I've tried it with this title. One to pick up if you want that Star Trek itch to be scratched and you're a little bit disappointed with the recent Star Trek game offerings. Next up we have X3 Farnhams Legacy. Now this isn't a title that you can just buy, you have to own X3 Albion Prelude first, but that's only €9.99 on Steam or your regional equivalent. So the barrier to entry here isn't that difficult and it's definitely a game that most of you should check out. If you already own X3 Albion Prelude, then you can pick up this for free. X3 Farnhams Legacy is essentially a new game in the X3 space game series where you can trade, fight, build and think in a living and breathing universe. What sets this one apart is it incorporates a new storyline and some more additions to the open 3-form gameplay that forms the core of the X game series. If you always wanted a slightly more story-driven X3 experience, then you are going to enjoy Farnhams Legacy. Overall, this is just a really exciting experience that I actually want to go back and check out again. Some people think the X3 universe was the best of the series, and this gives you more reason to check it out all over again in 2024. To make things even better, the critics on Steam agree, with a rating of very positive 86%. And maybe if you're looking forward to the upcoming X4 timelines, it's a perfect time to jump back into the X universe. To round this list off, we have Starbase, probably the most controversial pick of them all. As some of you may know, and some of you may not, it was recently announced that the development of the game would continue after a small hiatus, and honestly, that's something to be concerned about. While we want to give them the benefit of the doubt, you should definitely be cautious with this project, but overall, it has a lot of potential, which is why I thought I'd include it on this list. Starbase is a hybrid voxel vertex-based MMO set in a fully destructible and infinitely expanding universe. It emphasises building and designing spaceships and stations, along with exploration, resource gathering, crafting, trading and combat. So you can see the brief is an absolute dream for a space simmer. Mainly out of curiosity, as they announced they would be developing it again, I picked this title up a few weeks back and I've been really enjoying my time with it. It's one of those games where you fire it up and it feels like a world of wonder and you have to learn all over again. Though I have to say the tutorials didn't really help with that, as I had to go back and reset some of them just to try and get some sense out of it. This is a game that lacks polish, and overall the graphics really impressed me and I was kind of blown away by the game world, but it definitely has a steep learning curve. Since playing a lot of Star Citizen, the MMO aspect of this game really did interest me, although when I did this list there was around 150 players in game, which isn't huge, so the world doesn't feel massively populated. The design and build options in this game include spaceships, stations and devices down to the tiniest detail. The smallest building unit in this game is a single bolt, so you can imagine the level of micromanagement you can get down to when designing things. I was actually really impressed with the look of this game also. It felt great to leave my first starting station and fly into a cloud to mine. It just looked awesome and was totally immersive. From spaceship and first-person combat to the ability to travel, explore and discover. There's even going to be player factions and economy. The scope and potential of this game is huge, but they now need to deliver. So of all the games I've included on this particular list, this could be the title that really is the one to revisit in 2024. Or 25 or 26 potentially. Now the Steam reviews of this game weren't great and it dropped to mixed due to the game not receiving any updates. However, with the recent announcement, the game has moved up to mostly positive 75%. People are recognising the potential of Starbase. Moving onwards, we have a slightly different type of simulation game with Above Earth. This title is a science fiction survival game where you experience a struggle for life in the fragile artificial environment of a damaged space station. The game is set in a near future world where humanity has established space stations and bases on the Moon and Mars. As the player, you step into the role of an astronaut who witnesses a global nuclear catastrophe and must fight to survive in the devastating aftermath. The game has a very strong concept, but it hasn't quite delivered the vision yet, but it is in early access, and during my time I found it a very tough and challenging survival game with some really unique aspects going for it. This might be one to add to your wish list and keep an eye on, or if you like messing around with early access projects, maybe dive in. It's doing well on Steam, rated 74% mostly positive. Next up, we have early access VR title Rogue Stargun. This is a thrilling space combat sim where you pilot 5 distinct starfighters, each featuring virtual reality cockpits. Immerse yourself in a story-driven single-player campaign with over 24 unique missions spanning both land and space. There's some really cool starfighters in this one and some great missions, and the virtual reality element always helps with immersion, so if that's something you enjoy, it's definitely a title that you should check out. You can fly through canyons to take down enemy missile batteries, fly under the shields of enemy capital ships to take down their guns, and bomb mechanized groundwalkers on an icy world, while performing daring raids on a space pirate den. There's a huge amount of variety here. There aren't enough reviews on Steam yet to form an overall consensus, so maybe if you pick up the title, consider leaving them one. Next up, we have a very old title in Parkan II, and I'm going to say I haven't actually played this one, but it was recommended to me, and when I looked into it and did my research, it looks a very strong title. As always with these lists, I'll make sure to remedy that and go out and check this one out myself. However, from what I picked up, this game offers a unique experience, putting you in the cockpit of a spacecraft lost in the vast universe. You're able to choose your path as a pirate or mercenary, amass wealth and upgrade to the most powerful cruiser to assert your dominance over the galaxy. You can then embark on an unforgettable adventure in the expansive Parkan II universe. It sounds exactly like the type of games I really enjoy, like the titles from the X series, Star Citizen, Elite Dangerous and others, so definitely was a great gem that crossed my path. Yes, it is an older title and you will have to consider that, but it's rated mostly positive at 75%, and where I'm based can be picked up for €3.99, so really is a no-brainer just to try out. If you've played this game, do let me know in the comments below what you like about it, why it is still a good and forgotten space simulation game. I'll be interested to read those. Next on the list, we go back to 2003 with X2 The Threat, a title brought to us by Egosoft. This title is a classic space simulator, but it still holds up in 2024 as a gem of the genre. Gem of the genre? That was a fun one to say, but anyway, let's roll on. You take on the role of Julianne Gardner, continuing the story from X Beyond the Frontier. Despite its age, the game's graphics, enhanced by its then updated engine, managed to create an immersive universe filled with intricately designed ships and stations, offering a rich and complex spacefaring experience that stands the test of time. If you like exploration, there's over 130 beautifully designed sectors here, or maybe you're into ships, there's 60 of them, varying in size from scout class all the way up to battleship. I picked this game up on GOG a while back and I have to say it still holds up as a really fun title, and if you're looking to get it on Steam, it's rated very positive at 82%. I haven't tried it on Steam Deck yet, and to be honest, I have heard that it doesn't work, but maybe I'll give it a go later. And finally, we reach the pinnacle of this list with one of the most recommended games from the other videos, and that is Freespace 2. You were crying out for me to feature this one, so I finally did. This is a legendary space combat sim that still sets a standard for the genre. With epic space battles, a gripping story, and stunning visuals that hold up even today, this game offers an unforgettable journey through the cosmos. Whether you're a seasoned pilot or a newcomer, Freespace 2 is a must-play for any fan of space sims. In this game, players pilot a starfighter equipped with mounted weapons to take down enemy ships, conduct reconnaissance missions behind enemy lines, or escort allied vessels. The game features a flight model that favours a more accessible arcade-style interpretation of space physics over realistic Newtonian mechanics, making for a fast-paced and engaging game. I do know that the base game is really only the beginning here, as there's a vast array of amazing mods that completely transform the experience and are probably the closest we'll ever get to Freespace 3. It's only rated 78% mostly positive on Steam, but to be honest, that's because a lot of players struggle to get it to work out of the box on that platform. I own it on GOG and it works just fine. It's a title I'd love to dive into more, and I want to explore the mods and maybe feature some on the channel, so once again, your comments are needed below. Overall, thank you for pushing me to feature this game. It definitely does raise my own interest in getting to know it a lot better. And I'm very happy to recommend it to all other LT gamers out there. is Nexus: The Jupiter Incident. The game is set at the dawn of the 22nd century. The conquest of space and the colonization of the solar system is being monopolized by several huge and ambitious mega-corporations. I mean, a little bit like the world today. But jokes aside, this was highly recommended in the comments and is a game I've recommended on a sales list previously. I have to say, from a gameplay perspective, this still stands up today, with an epic campaign containing 6 episodes and more than 26 thrilling missions. Those missions contain a huge amount of diversity. Hang on, this is sounding more and more like mega corporations, but hey, look, let's carry on. You can do espionage, fight, stealth, sabotage, rescue, and science missions. The game has a gripping storyline, strategic depth, and immersive gameplay. It truly offers an unforgettable space simulation experience. Another bonus for this title is that it only costs €9.99 at full price, and I'm pretty sure you can find it much cheaper on sale. If you have never played this game, going out and picking it up in 2024 is an absolute no-brainer, and if you have played it before, you should definitely revisit it. Nexus: The Jupiter Incident is truly an epic standalone sci-fi experience, but you can mod this game also, and I've been playing a Star Trek mod that I was thinking about featuring on the channel. And if you don't want to take my word for it, it's rated very positive on Steam with an overall 84% rating. Just go and check this game out. Coming up next, we have Starpoint Gemini Warlords. In this game, you can strategize from the forefront. Starpoint Gemini Warlords seamlessly blends third-person capital spaceship combat with 4X strategy and RPG elements. Forge formidable war fleets and deploy them in epic battles, or take command yourself in the heat of combat. Rise as the ultimate warlord and dominate the Gemini system. I actually really enjoyed my time with this game, and I put around 15 plus hours into it. It definitely bridges that area between space action and space simulation, but it still is a very fun title. It's one of those games that does all of its aspects well without excelling in any particular one. But overall, it's a strong title and a lot of you suggested it, and it keeps us away from the disaster that was Starpoint Gemini 3. I actually really enjoyed the second iteration of this series, and it would be great to see the developer get back on track if they're able to. But if you haven't played it and you're looking for that more arcadey space simulation experience, then check this one out. Next up, we have Empyreon Galactic Survival. Now this is the game I have the least experience with on the list, but it was heavily recommended in the comments of the last video. In this game, you will build and explore in a true space sandbox survival adventure. Construct mighty capital vessels, sprawling planetary settlements, and vast space stations in your galactic journey to discover the mysteries of Empyreon. And I'm gonna be honest, when I made this video, I had to say the word Empyreon about 30 times before I felt comfortable with it. Hopefully I pronounced it correctly. Now this game bridges a few different genres. While it is a space sim, you will build, craft, and survive, and that might not be for the hardcore space simmer. But if you're looking for a game that does a bit of everything, then you should probably consider it. Now, I can't claim to be an expert on this title as I only picked it up today as I made the list, but we can learn together with this one. Do we consider it a space sim or do we not? I would lean on the fact that it does enough simulation aspects to be considered as part of the genre, but I'll leave it up to you. And coming up next, we have Arvoch Alliance SE, an independent game that you can't get on Steam. This game is a first-person 3D space combat flight simulation. As a squadron commander in the Alliance Navy, you will take on the challenge of leading a team of fighter pilots through a series of missions spanning the vast region of space known as the Evochron Quadrant. Inspired by space combat games of the 80s and 90s, Arvoch Alliance was built with a similar focus on space fighter combat, squadron command through issuing orders, intense battles featuring epic explosions, and diverse control capabilities, all with a modern spin of Newtonian-style physics and more updated graphics. Now, Star Wraith Games 3D was very kind to send me a key for this game, and in my short time with it, it is definitely on the more hardcore end of the simulations. But this is truly a challenge and a great reward. It's a really amazing game. It's not available on Steam, so I wanted to bring it to your attention. It's the sort of game that you really are going to have to complete the training missions for, but afterwards it opens up into a truly epic space story with amazing combat and the ability to play multiplayer, co-op and PvP. I will make sure to leave a link to the website in the description, so if you're interested you can go and pick it up there. Of course, it's from the same studio that made Evochron Legacy, and that's also a really epic experience that you should be checking out. Warping its way onto the list is Liberation, where you will fight back against the evil Galactic Federation. Now, interestingly enough, after viewing my video, the developer emailed me about this game. I knew nothing about it. Then I started playing it, and I have to say, it's a really great space sim. It's definitely more on the minimalist side, especially in the graphics, but this game has a real charm about it. You pilot an elite stealth ship after escaping a prison colony, and you can upgrade that ship with a variety of weapons and systems. You'll then be able to engage in high-stakes dogfights, dock with space stations, planets and spaceports, and work with heroes and villains to destroy the Galactic Federation. It's a lovingly crafted single-player open-universe RPG inspired by classic science fiction stories such as Blake 7 and the original 1984 BBC micro version of Elite. With 24 unique systems to explore and a huge amount of fun to be had, I really highly recommend this game. It's a lot of fun and it's very different to everything else that you've played in this genre. We love to bring you games on this channel that you didn't know about, and I think Liberation will definitely be a contender. I also fired it up on the Steam Deck and it worked perfectly. One of those games, LT gamers, that I want you to go out and support because the market is difficult for these small developers. And finally, we reach the top of this particular list with Helium Rain. Now, if you go back deep into the annals of LT gaming history, I did a review on this, and wow, was my presentation quite a bit different. It sounds like I was trying to do my most sexiest voice for YouTube, and I was really trying to be poetic in the review, whereas now I'm just a bit more loose. But that doesn't take away from the fact that I loved the game then and I still love it today. And the best part about this space simulation is that it's now absolutely free. In Helium Rain, you can trade your wares and eliminate the competition in a cutthroat world, buy new ships and stations to mine and haul resources, and explore the vast emptiness of space. There's something very 2001: A Space Odyssey about the presentation of this title, and the atmosphere just drew me in from the beginning. If you were in my office right now, you'd see the 2001: A Space Odyssey poster on the wall, and I've read the book and listened to the audiobook about 20 times. They don't make films like that anymore, and I don't think they ever will again. Today's audience just has no attention span. The game itself is beautifully simplistic, but I just absolutely adore the visuals, and the gameplay is also fun with Newtonian physics and a quite advanced flight model. It's essentially a single-player simulation that places you at the helm of a spacefaring company, and watching my company build and take over all of the other corporations is a joy to behold. Despite its smaller scope, there are still 13 playable ships with weapon and engine upgrades, and you're able to explore around 25 sectors orbiting the gas giant Nema and its moons. I'm always going to be high on this game because I love it, and LT gamers, it's now free, so you have no excuse not to go out and enjoy it today. Battlegroup VR. This is a first-person real-time space strategy where you lead a fleet of powerful warships into battle from the bridge of your own flagship. You can assemble your fleet, upgrade your loadouts, train your captains, engage the enemy, and secure the sector. And one thing that came out really strongly with my other space sim list was that people want to command the battleship or the carrier. They don't always want to be flying around in small fighters, and that's what a lot of other games give us. This is a game where you absolutely feel that scale of the battleship that you're on and the fleet that you are commanding. This helps to create an immersion that's off the scale, and it's something that virtual reality is absolutely made for. I played this title quite some time ago, so it will be great with all the updates that have happened to jump back in 2024. Overall, it was a pretty comfortable experience, though I did suffer some motion sickness, but with my new PC, maybe that would improve because the frame rate really does seem to help me. If you're looking for that scale and to command a battleship, then look no further than Battlegroup VR. Next up, we have Chorus, which offers a bold new entry into the space combat genre, following Nara, a fugitive pilot haunted by her past, and her sentient starfighter, Forsaken, on a mission to dismantle the cult that once molded her into a weapon. It all sounds quite dramatic. And this is the title I alluded to in the introduction, which is more of an arcade space combat game. However, with thrilling zero-G dogfights and visually stunning cosmic environments, Chorus blends intense action with a rich narrative, as players unlock powerful abilities and engage in a fight for freedom against mysterious enemies, battleships and entities from the void. This is a title that when I played it, I enjoyed a lot more than I thought I would. There's beautifully designed visuals with expansive cosmic scenes that really impressed me. And then there's the fast-paced, intuitive combat mechanics and engaging story. Now, if you're one of those people who can't stand a female main character, then maybe it's not for you, but that's just something I'm not really into. I don't go into that stuff too much. It just doesn't bother me at my age. And honestly, with 3 daughters, I know, I'm always keen for female representation. Honestly, I do get it though. It would be nice to play as a male, and I think they should provide that option in video games, but it's not something I think about too much. It does have limited replayability after completing the story, but if you're looking for an action-packed Everspace 2 type of game, then this really is one to check out. It's rated overall very positive at 82% on Steam, and another big bonus if you're a Steam Deck owner, it's fully verified and a really great experience overall on that platform. If you're enjoying this video, make sure to hit that like button, leave us a comment about what you're thinking, and subscribe to the channel. You can also support LT Gaming by hitting that join button below the video and joining our Discord. Both me and Tom really appreciate all the interaction. Next up, we have Infinity Battlescape. This game is a multiplayer space combat sim supporting hundreds of players on a single server. You can join one of the corporate factions and fight for domination of a seamless, true-to-scale procedural star system. You can then participate in massive space and planetary battles involving hundreds of ships. This sounds absolutely epic. In Battlescape, you can dive into epic space and planetary conflicts reminiscent of iconic scenes from Star Wars, Battlestar Galactica, and Serenity. You're also able to ascend the ranks of competition, completing side missions to bolster the war effort in your own unique style. And it would appear the reviews for this game are getting steadily better and better. It had a bit of a rough start, but it's now up to 79% mostly positive. And honestly, it does seem like a pretty cool project I want to spend more time with. Next onto the list is a real gem in Interstellar Pilot 2. Now straight up, this game does have mobile roots, and you can definitely see that in the presentation. But they are very open about that in their Steam description, and they do say the hit mobile game Interstellar Pilot 2 has come to Steam. They also describe how you can play how you like in this open world space sim developed by Pixel Factor. And overall, for a game that has mobile roots, this game did impress me, and it's highly playable on the Steam Deck, which is always a great bonus. You're able to become a mercenary, trader, miner, bounty hunter, or passenger transporter. And if you want, you can even wage war and conquer the universe. To achieve this goal, you're able to pilot ships from small shuttlecraft to huge capital warships. I like to think of this title as a slightly simplified X4 which plays out on one single plane. The combat is actually quite fun, and I've enjoyed my time with it, especially on the Steam Deck. So if you're looking for a more engaging and easily accessible space sim, this is definitely one that you should check out. And the Steam reviews for this game sit at a whopping 94% very positive. That's something you really have to take into account. And then we get to Star Trek Klingon Academy, where players take on the role of Torlek, or I want to say Torlek, a promising cadet under General Chang's command in the elite Klingon Academy. The story follows Torlek as he progresses through intense training and mission scenarios, all while facing a growing threat of insurgency within the Klingon Empire. I mean, it's Star Trek, it's always going to be bloody good. Well, actually, there's quite a few games which would counter that argument, but you know, look, us Star Trek players, we take what we can get, and this really is top of the pile, alongside Bridge Commander. With tactical space combat, which really isn't emulated very well today, such a great game, a strong narrative and the essence of Klingon culture, the game immerses players in the warrior ethos of the Klingon Empire. There's a diverse number of mission scenarios, and that detailed tactical space combat really is unequaled even to this day. The strong integration of Klingon culture and the focus on them for the narrative really is unique within the Star Trek universe, and it's really refreshing. There are two main downsides to this game, and that's the dated graphics and controls by today's standards, and also the fact that it's just really hard to get hold of. It's not available on Steam or GOG, and it's difficult to track down online. However, if you're hell-bent on finding a copy of this title, and to be honest you should be, drop into the Discord and I'll see if I can help you. It's an absolutely wonderful title, and I did some longer plays of this on the channel. I'll link those in the description below. I really want to cover it again in the future, and I do have a video project where it will feature. And topping off this list is one of the most recommended Forgotten Space Sim titles in the history of the channel, only really topped by Freespace 2, which I did in the last video, and that's Independence War 2: Edge of Chaos. In this game, players command a fleet of battle cruisers, leading a band of revolutionaries against the powerful corporations that dominate the galaxy. Set in the Badlands 100 years after the original Independence War, players explore a non-linear open-world environment across 16 star systems. With realistic Newtonian physics, a rich narrative, and various ship configurations, it delivers a unique immersive space combat experience. It seems like I'm talking about realistic Newtonian physics in virtually every space video we do, but it does add that extra layer of depth to the flight mechanics here. There's extensive non-linear gameplay with multiple ship configurations so you can customize to your heart's content. However, complex controls may be a challenge for newcomers, and it is of course a little dated at this stage. But with everyone recommending this game, it had to feature on an upcoming list, and here it is. It's rated 75% mostly positive. Look, I think that's maybe because it's quite old, and it's also unverified on the Steam Deck, so you know, I haven't tried it, I don't know, but it could be a fun experience if you can get it working. I had a quick dive into why it isn't rated so highly on Steam, and it seems to be to do with bugs that are actually in that version, so maybe check it out on GOG also. Space Engine. Experience the groundbreaking marvel of this photorealistic interactive 3D planetarium, revolutionizing our understanding of the cosmos. This innovative platform meticulously models the entire universe, offering an unparalleled journey through space and time. And while this isn't strictly just a game, you can flight sim through the universe in various spacecraft. It's absolutely incredible and one of the best space simulation experiences I've ever had. Utilizing cutting-edge procedural generation technology, it brings to life uncharted areas of the cosmos, allowing exploration of the unknown with breathtaking realism. With this title, you must prepare to be immersed in a universe of endless discovery, where every star, planet, and celestial body is meticulously recreated to scientific accuracy. Whether you're a gamer or astronomer, this interactive 3D planetarium offers an unparalleled opportunity to explore the wonders of the universe like never before. Space Engine has a one-to-one scale-based universe, featuring billions upon billions of galaxies, nebula, stars, and planets, all shown at their full real-world scale. If you want to stay local, you can explore Earth and our neighbouring worlds in the solar system, or go and orbit a black hole in a galaxy billions of light years away. In Flight Simulator mode, your spacecraft will be subject to Newtonian physics and is yours to fly anywhere in the universe. I spent hours the other day just messing around with my spacecraft and its orbit around the Earth. You can become completely lost and immersed in this game. And although there is a strong community that surrounds the game, it would be great to bring in new players to experience the majesty of Space Engine. Void Destroyer 2. Begin your odyssey with nothing but a humble vessel, barely fit for the rigours of space combat. It's a modest start, but from these humble beginnings you'll forge an empire unlike any other. Welcome to an expansive open-world space sandbox, a universe inspired by the classics, but expanded beyond imagination. In the vast game of Void Destroyer 2, the possibilities are limitless. From the cockpit of your basic ship, you'll chart your own course through the stars, shaping your destiny with every decision. Will you trade goods and amass wealth, or engage in daring missions and carve out a reputation as a legendary spacefarer? The choice is yours. But be warned, in Void Destroyer 2 the galaxy is unforgiving, and dangers lurk in every corner of the cosmos. Pirates, rival factions, and cosmic phenomena will test your mettle at every turn. This game emphasises combat, tactics, and strategy, with battles ranging from one-on-one to fleet versus fleet. With a simple yet manageable economy, it offers loads of freedom to the player on how to play and who to play as. The game released back in 2020, and if you're quick, it's currently 70% off for €2.45. Even if you missed that, it's available for around the €8 mark. It's listed as playable for the Steam Deck and also is rated very positive in the reviews on Steam. Over the years, the player base has dwindled, but if you're looking for a space simulation title and you haven't heard of this, it's certainly worth a look. Between the Stars. This game, in fact, was one of the first early access reviews that I did on the channel that kind of blew up, and to this day I think it sits at around 6,000 views, which for us at the time was absolutely huge. I covered it in a number of videos and I really enjoyed it, describing it as Star Trekking across the universe. However, shortly after my last early access look at the game, it kind of fell off the rails a little bit and the developer was moved temporarily to another game. It suffered a tide of negativity and it fell down the rankings, but now the developer came back and actually kept their promise to finish the game, and the reviews are back where they should be. In this game, you will commandeer the helm of an interstellar cruiser and set forth on a perilous journey across the galaxy to safeguard the Republic from imminent threats. Throughout your epic voyage, you'll be tasked with making critical decisions that will shape the fate of entire star systems. As the captain of your vessel, you'll have the opportunity to enhance the firepower of your ship, outfitting it with advanced weaponry and state-of-the-art technology to confront the myriad of adversaries that stand in your path. There are many challenges and twists in this game, and it is very text-heavy, so if you don't like reading story, it may not be for you. But overall, I found the diverse range of missions and challenges that hit me were really cool and fun to deal with. Not only can you do all this, but you can craft, salvage and investigate new weaponry in order to augment your offensive capabilities. There's also a standard difficulty mode or the ability to play permadeath or a challenge. If you're looking for a space action game with an RPG growth and real-time combat that places you at the helm of an interstellar cruiser, then Between the Stars could be for you. The developer clearly had to take a difficult path for commercial reasons, but did come back and finish the game, and that should be praised. The graphics are bombastic and beautiful, and it has a really great universe surrounding it. If you're looking for that modern space simulation gem with some great visuals, then you should blast off with Between the Stars. I would also note that it is playable on the Steam Deck. Evochron Legacy SE. This game is an advanced freeform open-world spaceflight simulation focused on combat, trade, exploration, and survival gameplay with pilot-controlled spacecraft management. You can engage in ongoing large-scale battles between human factions as a civilian mercenary or confront an alien threat at designated war zones for intense battles and access to powerful military hardware. Evochron is a tightly focused technical space sim with options and gameplay specifically geared toward that objective. The game focuses on what flying and managing a spacecraft through a sparsely populated system in a large region of the galaxy might actually feel like in the future. The focus of this game is on elements of piloting a spacecraft and the complexities, challenges and rewards that go along with it while exploring and utilising a vast seamless style universe. This is a sandbox game in almost every facet of the gameplay. One thing to note with this title is it's definitely on the more hardcore range of the spectrum. You can spend quite a long time just playing through the tutorials before you're even ready to play, but if you do get through all that, there is a wonderful game that lies waiting for you. This version of the game was released all the way back in 2016 and the player base has fallen away somewhat. However, if you're burnt out on Elite or X4 or any of the other games, then Evochron Legacy could be a great one to go back and revisit, especially if you want a more technical experience. Avorion. This game is a procedural co-op space sandbox where players can build their own spaceships out of dynamically scalable blocks. You can fight epic space battles, explore, mine, trade, wage wars, and build your own empire to save your galaxy from being torn apart by an unknown enemy. The game was released in 2020 by Boxelware, and I have to say during my time with it, it's absolutely great and very ambitious. You start out in this game as a nobody at the edge of the sector, and work your way to the centre of the galaxy where it gets more and more dangerous, but also equally as rewarding. You can equip your ship with chain guns, lasers and other weaponry to take on your enemies and enjoy the sight of completely destructible vessels breaking at the exact points where you hit them. You can defend your allies from pirates, hunt down enemies for coin, or even participate in wars between entire factions. In Avorion, you can explore the galaxy at your own pace with the ability to find valuable goods in old shipwrecks, undiscovered asteroid fields rich in resources, gigantic asteroids which you can claim for yourself, or clues about what happened during the event a few centuries back. There are also no limits to the size or complexity of the ship that you can design and build, beside the resources that you collect. And if you just want to go wild, there is a creative mode so you can design to your heart's content. Avorion is a true sandbox space simulation game, and although the player base isn't that small, there were 500 concurrent players on when I checked, it could definitely be bigger for the quality of the title. Once again, this one is playable on Steam Deck and you've no reason not to go and check it out today. House of the Dying Sun. Now, I'm not sure if this game is having some sort of resurgence, but I've seen it in a number of big YouTubers' videos lately. But if that is the case, then it definitely deserves that resurgence. It's an absolutely brilliant space game. Enter the cockpit of the galaxy's most formidable starfighter in House of the Dying Sun, a tactical space shooter that thrusts you into the heart of interstellar conflict. As the pilot of this fearsome vessel, your mission is clear: hunt down the enemies of the Empire and unleash devastation upon their worlds. In the vast expanse of space, you'll engage in intense dogfights against rival factions, utilising advanced weaponry and tactics to outmaneuver your adversaries. The game has a very classic space combat feel to it, where you fly from the cockpit of your Executor Mark II, with gameplay heavily influenced by the Titans of yesteryear. But not only this, you can take command of your own fleet within this game, and it also supports a brilliant VR mode. In fact, it's my favourite virtual reality game of all time. Now, there are only 14 campaign scenarios, but they are replayable from a number of different angles and challenges. The game is also extremely unforgiving and it has quite a difficulty curve, but I really enjoyed the challenge in this one. The graphics are absolutely perfect for the vibe of the game, and overall it's just such a brilliant title that wasn't that well known about at the time when it came out in 2016, and even to this day it deserves much higher accolades than it gets. I honestly have to say that this gets close to being one of the best combat-focused space simulation games of all time. It's so good. As I said, playing this in VR is the ultimate immersive experience. Shoot by your enemy, drift, come back around, and then utterly destroy them. It is sublime. And I'm not even that big a fan of virtual reality gaming. However, if you want to play this on a flat screen, you absolutely can, and it's fully verified for the Steam Deck, where it's really cool to play it. Look, I don't know what else to say. If you are a space simulation fan, go and buy this game and just enjoy it. We really should support projects like this, and one day, perhaps we may even get a sequel. So there we go, LT gamers, 40 forgotten space sims. We never meant Forgotten to be this big of a series. It's been absolutely awesome. The same is coming for Wargames sometime in December. There are sales lists on the way, lots of awesome content. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff. I've been Luke from LT Gaming, and as always, I'll catch you on the next one.